So, love is blind. It's an age-old adage, but one New York City couple is giving it a new run. Here's CBSN's Christina Capatitis.
Training for a marathon can be a long and strenuous process, but it can also be a lonely one. So Jessie Rix decided to seek out some companionship.
Came across this organization, and it pairs runners with athletes that have disabilities of any and all sorts, and it was a way for me to volunteer doing something I loved.
What she didn't know was that she would soon discover something else she loved, a blind runner named Anthony Butler.
I remember seeing him, and he was like just the funnest person there. He had a ton of people around him talking, laughing, and I'm like, I want to run with that guy.
So she did, that day, for a few miles around the park. Then, connected by a tether, the two began training for a marathon.
When you're training for a marathon, you're spending probably like 12 hours a week with someone. So you're there for a lot. Like when someone loses their job, or someone like gets out of a relationship, or someone just having a hard day, while they're running, which is a release, they're also venting to you. I got everything out of her, except for like social security number. I got everything out of her.
And that was new to me because I've been running by myself for so many years. So meeting someone that I could run with and talks my head up, like I was like, wow, this is great.
Mile by mile, the two bonded, sharing their hopes, their dreams, even their sometimes comical taste in music.
Like Backstreet Boys and Disney soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the details of how Anthony lost his sight.
I was 20 years old when I lost my sight. I was coming home from work, I was hanging out, a few of my friends, and some dudes walked up. We exchanged a few words, and he started shooting.
He took 2 bullets, one in the leg and one in the head. And when he woke up in the hospital, the doctor told Anthony that his eyesight was gone.
I never thought I'd wake up one day and won't be able to see myself in the mirror. I think I cried for like hours.
Before, Anthony was a basketball player. Now he'd have to reinvent himself. And that led him to Achilles International, Jessie, and ultimately to places he'd never dreamed he'd go.
I grew up in the Bronx in Harlem, and I never even took a family vacation before in my life. I've never been on an airplane with my parents. I didn't get my passport till a few years ago.
But for 2.5 years now, the couple has been traveling the world together.
Her and I did Chicago last year, Marine Corps, Sacramento, which I'm doing again in a few weeks, the Paris Marathon, Cuba, Canada, we did Valencia, Spain this year, Philadelphia, New Orleans.
Once they started running, they simply never stopped. And Jessie says there's no one more fun or funny to do it with.
We did the half in Valencia, but the race didn't start till 5:30 in the evening. So that in itself was a new experience, and we're running in the dark now because the sun's going down, so.
Well, I'm always in the dark.
And in such divisive times, who couldn't use a little more laughter?
I think people get so focused on negatives in life that we miss the bigger picture. Like, take what's good and keep what's good around you.
Christina Capatitis, CBS News, New York.